Game Time Network is proudly sponsored by Matt Gaddis at State Farm. If you need help with car or renter's insurance, Matt Gaddis has you covered. And we are also powered by our friends at Wired to the Nines. For any low voltage needs, reach out to them via email at wiredtothenines@yahoo.com. And don't forget about our friends over at Big Z Sports Grill. If you're looking for a great time and some great food, head over to Big Z Sports Grill on Brookville Road in Indianapolis. Thank you to all our sponsors for supporting the Game Time Network. The UConn campus to talk about the other coach for basketball in UConn. We're going to go over to, how do you say Geno's last name? I'm not going to,
Sore loser.
Okay. That's what we'll go to. I'm going to let the clip play. Audio's off. I got the audio off. We'll be all right.
Please be sure the
audio's off. I'm going to play this 30-second clip for maybe people that haven't seen it. But let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and watch the end of the game. I saw this on Twitter and I couldn't believe what I was watching at first. I was like, Geno's doing this? And Don was ready to throw bows. And this was after the Final Four. As you can see, Don Staley in South Carolina beating UConn 62-48. I think they'll probably win the national title. They're playing UCLA. I think South Carolina is going to win that and probably walk away with another national title. I think UConn won it last year with Beckers, right? If I'm correct. I don't remember for sure, but your guys' thoughts on that. I know we don't I'll start. I think it was just classless from Geno. This is a guy that, for me, I'm like, this is, we talk about Don and there's other great college basketball coaches in women's basketball, but this is one of the all-time greats. This could arguably be someone's greatest coach of all time in women's college basketball. But this is, we talk about stains on legacy, and I know we like to use that a lot with players like LeBron or Jordan or Tiger Woods or whoever. This is a stain on his legacy because there's so many times in the press conference where he contradicts himself, where he talks about his player's jersey getting ripped and the refs didn't call it.
That's a lie. That's called a lie. That's a lie.
Yeah, she ripped it herself. Then he talked about Don didn't shake his hand. There's videos of her shaking his hand before the game. Before the game, by the way. So it's just, this is a bad look. This is a really bad look on him. And I get it. You're mad about the officials and you're mad that your team didn't play well. But to those seniors on the team, Ozzie Fudd and everybody else on that team, that was their last game as a UConn Husky and representing you. And I can only imagine how they feel after how you acted as their head coach. It's very distasteful, especially for someone like Dawn, who is catching up to your legacy as a coach in women's college basketball. She is catching up to you guys. So I don't know. I'm curious to see what you guys think for sure. LeBron will beat KD.
What the hell? Who's that?
Oh my goodness. I don't know who this is.
We were talking about that. That was 28 minutes ago.
Well,
sleepyheads, whoever you are, we appreciate the support. You missed it.
LeBron will beat KD and the Houston Rockets in advance to the second round. It's a legacy matchup for LeBron. He won't lose. Okay.
Isaiah would love to hear that. Right?
I'd love to hear that. All right, KD gets out of the first round.
What channel is LeBron and KD playing one-on-one? Because the Lakers and Houston, that wouldn't be the same outcome.
I think he's
talking.
Yeah. Thoughts on?
Let's flip this a little bit. Ramona said yesterday, he said, "I got some stuff for y'all, and and my view is going to be a little different. You have the Dawn side. I think Ramon may have a different perspective, and I want to hear it.
Yeah,
y'all, we've talked about what we had, and I don't have a lot to offer it. What I think about Geno, but I want to hear Ramon. I really want to hear it because he had a gleam in his eyes last night. I don't know if that was because of the Miller Lights or what, but I want to hear it, man.
It may have been because of the orange juice with extra vitamin C in it, but I don't know if it was. All right, here's my thing, man. Here's my whole thing. In the words of our co-host Scott, I think it's a big nothing burger. All right. Now, I think it's incredibly bad sportsmanship
Yep.
But fortunately or unfortunately, this isn't the first time for him or for coaches historically to have this type of argument. I remember when and when we talk about the black-white thing or the man-woman thing, I remember when Calipari almost got beat up by one of my favorite minority black basketball coaches. He came into the room and was like, I put my hands on him.
I'll kill
You
you.
know? Yes. You know, I didn't want to go there. I remember when my boy Woody did some crazy stuff at Ohio State. You know, I can keep going on and on. What I do know, or I can tell you when Coach Ramon Stallings has had incidents with other head coaches. When I was coaching basketball, none football, all basketball. So I understand how this can get heated and how that face-to-face confrontation comes real quick and real close in that particular sport or in sports in general. I am not in any way condoning what he did, but I don't think it's as cut and dry as man, woman, black, white in a lot of cases. Some cases it is. Most cases it's competitors losing it.
Yep.
You know, really losing it. I've yet to see too many coaches who were not good, successful, not have incidents. You know what I'm saying? It's always the ones that are really good that get caught up in these type of messes. You know why? Because they're really good.
Yeah.
And their thought process is different. Their temperament is different, and their energy is different, and their arrogance is extremely different. We don't have these problems out of losing coaches, unfortunately or fortunately. You know, again, I am not in any way condoning what he did. You know, and I'm glad that because I don't think he apologized on his own. I'm glad the institution made him apologize. I'm glad that Don handled it the way she did. I wish she wouldn't, as an administrator, I wish she wouldn't have said, I will beat his ass.
Heat of the moment, just like Geno, right?
Yeah. And that's why I said, as an administrator,
Isaiah spit out his damn water, by the way. I saw it fly. I wish we're going to go back to the video of that, and we're going to replay that.
Oh my gosh, because you know what? I saw when we were showing the clip, I saw her say that in the quote, and when I was explaining it, it almost got me. I can't walk.
Y'all see as an administrator. Because I wear the hat as an athletic administrator. I said, as an administrator, I wish she wouldn't have said, I'll beat his ass. But as a coach, I understand it. Yeah. You know, and you get to that point sometimes, especially when someone challenges you in that manner. You know, I think that there's so many different narratives change because that's what we do in the media. We change narratives to fit the agenda that will move the most people to our networks or our platforms. You know, I think it was, and I think it was something that happens often. It's going to continue to happen. We're going to see this again, unfortunately. 2, I think that we got somehow try to curve it and stop it. 3, I don't think it was black or white or man or woman.
No.
But when it happens to a man or woman who is black and white, that's going to be attached to it.
Got to be spoken about. Got to be attached to it.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's unfortunate, 100% unfortunate. How do we stop it? I don't know if we can. I think we can try to control it. We can try to slow it down. But dude, you know, these greats, and both of those coaches are greats.
Yes.
They're going to have some heated moments, unfortunately.
Yeah. You know, and you make a lot of good points, man. You know, my perspective on Geno the loser is a little different, right? So I did a little bit of research on Geno the loser, and the only 2 people that he's had type of altercations like that with women. Pat Summitt in the late 90s, right? I posted a 14-minute video of the history of Geno and Pat Summitt. Pat has made statements that Geno was cheating, and she made it private. ESPN, by the source of the Freedom of Public Information Act, were able to uncover that information and share it with Geno. Pat Summitt didn't make that information public. ESPN did. And ultimately, from that point, the relationship, after she made the statements about Geno, calling her the evil empire, calling her names, saying, I don't want to play you anymore. And Geno made a statement about the reason why she didn't want to play me is because she's a passive-aggressive so-and-so. What Pat said was, no, you're a bully, you're a cheat, and I don't want to play you. So that's what happened. So this isn't a one-off. The only two people Geno's had issues with that are public like this are women. That's a fact, not a feeling. The other part of that is this.
Okay, stop for a second. Stop for 1 second. We talking about fact. I'm just Googling. I'm trying to find out. I don't even see any college women, men, successful basketball coaches except Geno.
I get you. I understand. But
so you can only have, if there's only this in the barrel, I can only have conversations with that in the barrel.
What I'm saying, this is not the only person that's beat him. Men have beat him as well.
I understand what you're saying.
And it looks to me,
it looks like it's women, but it's only women out there.
Well, I'm just saying what it is. So what I'm saying is, I've seen this in my world of business when people love to attack someone who seems to be weaker. That's what I'm saying. And that weaker is because of there's something that you're not. And if you take a look, and I'm not going to bore people with the details of what Don Staley is doing for NIL and prior players for NIL, what Don Staley is doing is something that Geno Auriemma, the loser, is not. She's showcasing the sport itself. It was 3 young ladies that were playing ball in Israel that she got out of there, right? It was made public, not by her, but by others. Don Staley is something that he wishes he was, a compassionate human being who has character. And I also posted another video earlier today with Diana Taurasi doing the same damn thing at that game that her coach did, being a classist loser. She's on the UConn sideline yelling at people. She's in the stands. Take your ass whooping like a leader and keep moving. There's a saying, you've said it, I've said it, and those of us who've coached anything said it. Win with dignity, lose with grace. He didn't do that because he didn't have to do what he did with Dawn after the game. They shook hands. She kicked his ass. They had 2 fouls called on him 3 fouls called on him in the first half. That's UConn. 3 fouls in 20 minutes. Secondly, or thirdly, or fourthly, maybe, his own player tore her jersey. The South Carolina player didn't. He didn't go back and apologize for that, and he didn't apologize to Don Staley, the person, not the coach, the person. And what it says to me is, again, he's not the only asshole that does this, but what it says to me is he didn't like the fact that she's on the come up. She's taking shine away from him, and we've seen it. Her shine isn't just on the court, though. That's the beauty of Dawn Staley. She's doing much more off the court than this man could even think of because he's an egotistical maniac who's a bully. He's the college female version. He and his crony over there at UConn, or the Bob Knight version of current lure. When you can't bully him, that's when you want to fight. But there was no fight. People saw his competitive nature. But the game was over. What you compete with now? The game was over. It wasn't being played when there was zeros on the clock. So all I'm saying is be aware of what this young lady, Dawn Staley, is doing, black, white, pink, or blue. Look at what she's doing outside of basketball.
I mean, she almost had the next job.
I mean, I don't care about that. I'm talking about outside of basketball. She is something that he wishes he was. That's all I'm saying. Go to Dawn Staley and look at the lineage of what she's done outside of basketball. Saving those girls in Israel, working with the NCAA to have a post NIL payout for ex-players, doing things in the community that he's not capable of. That's the issue. This ain't got nothing to do with, well, it does have something to do with basketball, but the bigger issue is what's outside of basketball. It's not him. Just look, don't trust me. Go and look what she's doing.
I just don't agree with you. Hey, the trust. I know everything.
Listen, I love that. I love that you don't agree.
I already knew. I just don't agree with you.
But, and that's fair. But what I'm saying is this: I see it in her, and I don't see it in him.
Yeah.
You know, and she's an absolute winner. You see what she did with the Southern University players?
With those players, absolute winner. I'm talking about this
all those
situation
things
right here. I think every head coach in sports across football, basketball, baseball, whatever, the winners are all assholes. I've never met a non-asshole winner. Now, some are more assholes to the extent, but they're all assholes. And you know what? It's part of that DNA that gets them where they are.
Yeah. You still gotta have some class, though.